Welcome to our channel. So let's start today's story. When she regained consciousness, she found herself in a dark room. She put her hand on her spinning head. She was trying to open her eyes and see, but she was not able to see anything properly. She was feeling darkness in front of her eyes again and again. She got up holding her head with great difficulty and sat down. When she got up and sat down, there was a noise in the room. The bangles worn on her velvety wrists made a noise when she stood up from her place. The anklets also started tinkling. She was very disturbed. She was not able to see anything properly in the darkness. She moved forward in the darkness, groping for the door, and tried to open the door, but the door was locked from outside. Heba tried to open the door with force, but this attempt of hers also proved unsuccessful. Her heart was sinking. Her marriage was going to take place in some time. She was present in her room dressed as a bride. Then God knows how she reached this unknown place. It was so dark that one could not see one's hand, but a human scent was spread in the room. Heba could not recognize that scent even if she wanted to. There was someone there. Please help me and get me out of here. Haya rang the doorbell and called for help once again, but there was no one to help her. She was completely alone in this place. She had spent an hour screaming like this, but there was no one to listen to her plea. It was her wedding today. She got ready and came to her room, but at that very moment the lights of the room went off and Heba felt herself in someone's strong arms, and the next moment she fainted and lost her senses. And when she regained consciousness, she found herself in that dark room. Her throat had become hoarse from screaming. Even in this harsh winter, tiny beads of sweat had appeared on her forehead. Heba was worried about her family at that time. Her family would surely be looking for her, and when they would not have found Heba in that room, what would have happened to them? Heba was going mad thinking this. She had no idea how long had passed since she fainted. She did not even know where she was at that time. Heba was very nervous. On top of that, she could not see anything in this darkness. At that very moment, someone opened the door of the room and entered the room. Heba got very scared. She did not know who the person who entered the room was. As soon as that person entered the room, he switched on the switchboard on the wall. The whole room was bathed in bright light. Suddenly the bright light pierced Heba's eyes. He had closed his eyes involuntarily. Shahir Khanzada had entered the room with full pomp, and Heba opened her eyes the very next moment and saw the person standing in front of her, and then she took a deep breath. She forgot to take a breath. She was just holding her breath and looking at Shahir Khanzada, who was standing in front of her with his hands folded on his chest. Heba's pupils were widened with surprise. She had no expectation that Shahir Khanzada would suddenly come and stand in front of her. This was all that Heba could say. Shahir, seeing her power breaking, came to her. Their eyes met for a moment. Shahir felt immense fear in Heba's green eyes. Shahir Khanzada was her late sister's husband, whom she hated a lot. She never wanted to see this person's face. But today she was standing in front of the same person as a bride. When Shahir Khanzada saw Heba as a bride, he involuntarily tried to breathe. But his breath seemed to have stopped. Heba was standing in front of him as a bride. The girl he had always wanted to see as his bride was standing in front of him today as a bride. But not for him, but for someone else. Shahir Khanzada was adorned with every fiber of her being. As soon as he thought of this, the breath that was stuck in his chest was restored. This thought was enough to burn him from head to toe. That his love standing in front of him was a bride for someone else. Shahir involuntarily placed his hand on his heart. That girl was adorned with every fiber of her being, wearing a pearl in her nose. Shahir Khanzada was admiring the world. The red lipstick on her lips was enhancing her beauty. While pink threads were floating in her eyes, Shahir Khanzada felt like stopping time right here, and he could keep staring at this beauty. On one side there was beauty and indifference, on the other side there was love, there was helplessness, and there was complete silence in the room. It was Heba. Where were you? I have been calling you since so long. Shahir's worried voice came out of the speaker of the phone to Heba's lips. A smile touched me. I was busy in the kitchen. Tell me, how are you? Heba asked Shahir about his well-being in a soft tone. I am absolutely fine, but I am not feeling well in anyone's mood, Shahir said mischievously. Heba took a deep breath. You are absolutely right. I am very angry with you. You left saying you will be back in 15 days and now it is going to be a month, but there is no news of your return, Heba said in an angry tone. I want to return only after finishing all the work this time because I have talked to Ami about our relationship. She is ready for this relationship. As soon as I come back to Pakistan, she will bring my proposal to your house. That is why I thought I should finish all the important work before my marriage, then maybe I will not get time. Shahir told Heba all the details. In the end his tone became mischievous. Hiba's cheeks started burning. Okay, then I am not angry with you, Heba replied with a soft smile. They both kept talking for a long time. On something Shahir said, Heba's face would turn pink, and on something she would get angry. There was a little banter between them. After some time Shahir hung up the phone. He had to attend an important meeting. He was coming back to Pakistan next week and Heba had made a lot of requests to him. He had to go shopping for Heba after the meeting. Heba hung up the phone and started dreaming about her future. There was a charming smile on her face as if she was about to get her love. After getting Shahir Khanzada's love, Heba considered herself the luckiest girl in this world. Shahir Khanzada loved her very much. He loved this delicate girl with all his heart. This girl was his life. Shahir Khanzada and Heba were cousins. Don't know when, the love for each other grew in their hearts. Neither of them knew about it, but with the passage of time Shahir realized that he loved Heba very much and could not live a moment without that naughty girl. Heba was 8 years younger to him. He was always afraid to tell Heba about his feelings, but he had already felt the love for him in Heba's eyes. Heba also did not realize when she started loving the handsome and serious Shahir Khanzada. Shahir's grandfather had died in his childhood. Shahir's mother had been unmarried all her life but did not remarry for Shahir's sake. Shahir's father had left behind a lot of property for him. Both of them never had to face any financial problems. Shahir took care of his father's business. Both Shahir and Heba have a home. Both their houses were adjacent to each other and the lawn was the same. Despite Shahir's immense intimacy, they often used to meet. In Shahir's heart, this delicate doll had made a very strong place for herself. That day too, Shahir had come from office and was parking his car when Heba came and stood in front of him. Shahir looked at Heba with surprise because it was late at night. It was 11 o'clock and everyone in the house was sleeping. Heba's eyes were swollen as if she had been crying. Shahir got down from the car and stood in front of her. What happened, Heba? You are still awake till now? Shahir looked at her foolishly. You don't care about me at all. Heba said to Shahir in a complaining tone with tears in her eyes. Is it possible that I don't care about my doll? I am very busy with work these days. Shahir said softly, looking at Heba, but tears started flowing from Heba's eyes. Heba, if there is something wrong, tell me. Shahir wiped her tears with the tips of his fingers and said softly, I will not marry a Hod. Heba said without looking at Shahir, lowering her eyes. Hearing the words a Hod and marriage from Heba's mouth, Shahir felt the ground slip from under his feet. Who told you this? Shahir asked while controlling himself. Pew had come. She has brought the proposal of a Hod for me. Heba looked at him with teary eyes. Neither of them had expressed their love for each other, but both were well aware of each other's heart condition. Shahir's forehead wrinkles increased a little. Don't worry, nothing like this will happen, Shahir consoled Heba, but he himself was also worried. Heba clearly refused the proposal of Ardat. Shahir also explained to his aunt that when Heba is not ready for this proposal, then they should not force her either. Sadia Begum became silent at this time. She herself was also not in favor of the proposal of Ardat because a Hod was a spoiled boy. Ffu also became silent for a while. Shahir came back. He talked to his mother about Heba. Then Samina Begum became very happy. She also liked her naughty and bubbly niece very much. She always Shahir wanted Heba for Shahir. When she immediately agreed to take Shahir's proposal for Heba, Shahir had returned, but Heba and Shahir had not met yet. Shahir himself called Heba on phone and invited her to the lawn. After some time, Heba was seen coming towards him. Shahir could not guess whether the color of Heba's clothes was more pink or the color of Heba's face was more pink. He kept staring at her like a ghost. "It has been 2 days since you came and now you have got time to meet me," Heba said with a frown on her face. Shahir gestured her to sit next to him. Heba sat down quietly. "Amma will come to your house tomorrow evening," Shahid said. With a smile. "Why?" Heba asked with a pounding heart. Her breathing slowed down in a moment. "Because now I can't stay away from you anymore." Shahir held Heba's delicate hand. "Holding her hand," Heba said. When Shahir held her hand like this, Heba's heart was shaken. This was the first time when Shahir had held Heba's hand with such authority. "I am feeling sleepy." Heba's face was pale. She immediately freed her hand and stood up and quickly went inside. Shahir smiled and watched her go, and then he too went inside. Heba was so happy that she could not sleep the whole night. The person she loved was soon going to be hers. She could not believe that loving and getting him could be so easy. The whole night she kept dreaming golden dreams of the future. In her eyes, Heba was very happy to get Shahir's love she was anxiously waiting for. Tomorrow morning it was becoming difficult for her to spend each moment. She fell asleep with great difficulty. When she opened her eyes in the morning, she sat up, smiling. Today she is dedicated to her love. The love which she had suppressed in her heart since childhood was about to be written down. Today, that love was about to be accepted in front of everyone. She started thinking that can there be someone more fortunate than her? Next day in the evening, after As Namaz, Samina Begum went to her elder sister's house. Hey Sadia, come. You stay in the house regularly and it has been so many days since you came," Sadia Begum said, looking at her younger sister lovingly. Her sister had very quickly taken up the shawl of the Baghi. From that day onwards, Sadia Begum had helped Samina Begum in every way. She had never left her alone at any point of life. Sadia Begum had many favors on Samina. It was Sadia Begum only because of whom today these people had the property left behind by Shahir's father. Otherwise Samina Begum's in-laws were ready to collect all the property. Apa, you know that just a few days back Shahir has returned from outside. She was busy with that, only she could not go around, Samina Begum said in a low tone. Sadia Begum called Mariam, come with tea for her. Aunt Mariam appeared from the kitchen wiping her hands and called Samina Begum. After saluting once again, she disappeared in the kitchen. Papa, today I have come to talk to you about something important, Samina Begum said, looking at Sadia Begum. Sadia Begum, I was stunned. Yes, tell me, what is it? Sadia Begum became a little serious. I have come to ask for Heba's hand for my body. I really wish that Heba becomes my daughter-in-law. I will make her the queen of my house, Samina Begum said, holding Sadia Begum's hand, but Sadia Begum's face had turned pale. Samina Begum felt Sadia Begum's hands getting cold in her hands. Sadia Begum sat straight and focused her eyes on the stranger. Samina Begum was thinking that Sadia Begum would be very happy on hearing about Shahir's proposal. She did not have a son, so she had always considered Shahir as her son. She loved him a lot, but she was completely silent, as if she had received a deep shock. Perhaps she was not expecting this. Samina Begum was watching the changing expressions on her elder sister's face every moment. She was not able to draw any conclusion from her expressions. Her heart was sinking. Silence prevailed between them for a long time. Finally Sadia Begum broke that silence and addressed her younger sister Samina Begum with full rights. I have always thought of Shahir for my Mariam. I have tried to talk to you many times, but every time I waited for a better time. You know Heba is young and 8 years younger than Shahid, whereas Mariam and Shahir are of the same age. People have started talking about Mariam now. I cannot even think of Heba's marriage before Mariam's marriage. That is why I request you to get your Shahir married. Take my Mariam, Sadia Begum said in a tearful voice. Only she knew how she controlled her tears, otherwise she felt like crying her heart out. Heba was 20 years old while Mariam was 28 years old. Because of her dark complexion, no good proposal had come for her. Even the family members had started talking about her increasing age and her marriage. Many proposals had come for Heba from the entire family. But Sadia Begum did not want to get Heba married before Mariam's marriage. So she used to refuse every proposal that came for Heba. She tried to talk to Samina Begum about this many times, but every time she hesitated because she was the mother of a daughter. But today, when Samina Begum brought Shahir's proposal for Heba, she spoke her heart out. Hearing this, Samina Begum became silent. She wanted to tell Sadia Begum that she has brought a proposal for Heba on Shahir's wish. She cannot break the heart of her only son. But the very next moment Sadia Begum folded her hands in front of Samina Begum. "Accept my Mariam as your daughter-in-law. You both are my last hope. Mariam is getting old. I cannot ruin her life like this." Sadia Begum was crying badly with folded hands while Samina Begum could not say anything despite wanting to. "Papa, stop crying. Mariam's fate must be good. Why are you getting so worried?" Samina Begum tried to console her. "Samina, give me your word that you will get Mariam married to Shahir." Sadia Begum looked at her younger sister with great respect and hope. Samina Begum took a deep breath uncontrollably. Today the time had come to return all the favors of Sadia Begum, and she had not forgotten that favor. Samina Begum nodded her head in agreement, holding both the hands of Sadia Begum. Sadia Begum smiled while crying, and Samina Begum could not even smile. Suhail Sahab had also come back from office. Sadia Begum called Mariam, and Heba came down, controlling her heartbeats. Her heartbeats were waiting badly, eyes were burning like lamps, while the smile of having got her love was adorned on her face. "What happened, Sadia Begum? Why are you crying like this?" Suhail Sahab looked at both the sisters with surprise. "Allah has blessed us. Your prayers have been heard. My daughter's fortunes have opened." Heba's smile deepened. Sadia Begum was so happy that she couldn't even speak. Heba's smile deepened. Sadia Begum went ahead and hugged Mariam. "Samina agreed to the marriage of Shahir and Mariam. Allah has made my daughter's fortunes very bright," Sadia Begum said while lovingly hugging Mariam, while Heba felt the ground slipping from under her feet. Heba looked at her mother in a state of shock and then looked at her elder sister standing beside her and smiling shyly at. This time Heba had neither the sky above her head nor the ground under her feet. How did she feel? Heba was innocent. Heba looked at Samina Begum in confusion, but she stole her eyes from Heba's eyes. The whole house was filled with happiness. Heba came into the room, controlling herself. Sadia Begum called everyone. Mariam was informing about the engagement of Shahir while Heba was sitting in a trance on the floor of her room. "Amma, what are you saying? I love Heba and want to spend my life with her. What have you done?" When Samina told Shahir everything, Shahir went mad with anger. He was unable to understand what to do, how to express his feelings. He had run out of words. "I am helpless, son. If Apa and Sohail Bai had not helped us after your Baba's death, we would have been completely helpless. How could I refuse them?" Samina Begum said while crying. "But how can I break Heba's heart? You can imagine what she must have gone through after seeing all this," Shahir said while clutching his hair in both his fists. At the same moment, Samina Begum held her heart in pain and Shahir hugged her. Seeing her deteriorating condition, Shahir moved towards her, but she had fainted. He immediately took her to the hospital. She had a minor heart attack. Seeing his mother's condition, Shahir buried his love in his heart and agreed to marry Mariam. Mariam came to Shahir's courtyard as his bride. But after that day, Shahir could not look into Heba's eyes, while Heba also did not question him. Heba did not know that Shahir had sent her the proposal. It was Sadia Begum who insisted for Mariam. She thought that Shahir had considered her only as a source of entertainment. He had spent time with her and made her feel his false love, while in reality he wanted to marry Mariam. Heba was feeling humiliated every now and then, while Shahir was helpless because of his mother. He had already lost his father and now he did not want to lose his mother, whereas Samina Begum was forced to come in front of her because of her sister's kindness, whereas Sadia Begum was completely unaware of her daughter's feelings. She did not know that her beloved little daughter had paid the price for writing happiness in her daughter's destiny. If she had come to know that day that Shahir and Heba liked each other, she would have never said this. But she was completely unaware of the whole matter. She was also a mother. A mother whose daughter was growing old, sitting at her father's door. People had started taunting her and all kinds of things were being said. How could she not worry for her? So she was forced by her love to take this step. Everyone had their own compulsions, and no one was aware of the pain of that delicate girl whose heart was broken to pieces. She cried bitterly with her hand on her mouth when the pain became intense. She stifled her screams with her own dupatta. No one was aware of her pain. She was the darling of the whole family. Then how could no one understand her agony? The day Mariam left and went to Shahir's house, Heba cried the whole night. It was as if needles were pricking her whole body. She had no peace at any moment. Her hatred for Shahir had increased even more. Heba felt like banging herself against the wall or hurting herself, but she kept crying till the tears turned to happiness. While crying, her hiccups did not stop. If Heba was suffering from agony, then Shahir was also restless. He did not go to his room even in the morning. He could not give this status to anyone in his life except Heba. He spent the whole night rolling on the embers. His heart was very restless for Heba. After that day, Heba did not come in front of him. Don't know where she had disappeared. The next day after the wedding, there were guests in the house. Mariam was sitting amidst everyone. Mariam felt her head spinning. Don't know why her heart was sinking, but she gathered courage and sat. There was often a feeling of ill health. With whom would she talk about this? The house she had come to was a complete stranger to her. Mariam had noticed Shahid's attitude on her first day itself. He was definitely not happy with this marriage. It was as if something broke in Mariam's heart. Shahir did not look at Mariam even once. Are you not happy with this marriage? Mariam spoke what was in her heart. Shahir's fingers on the laptop stopped for a moment. It is not like that, Shahir. Without looking at him, said Mariam. Then why don't you talk to me? Twisting her fingers, asked another question. I need some time, Mariam. Shahir said softly without looking at her once again, and picked up his laptop and left the room. Mariam kept looking at him sadly. Today only Mariam had heard Shahir and Samina Begum's conversation. Samina Begum was trying to convince her that Shahir should accept this relationship, but Shahir's cold attitude could not remain hidden from her too. Mariam's existence had come under the grip of the earthquake. How she had become the killer of her sister's happiness. After a few days, Mariam's health deteriorated very badly. She was immediately taken to the hospital. Seeing Mariam's condition, the doctor prescribed some tests to prove his expenses wrong, and then when the reports of those tests came the next day, everyone was shocked. Mariam had blood cancer, which was her cancer. He had reached the last stage. Hearing this news, everyone was shocked. Heba also went to the hospital to meet Mariam and then hugged her and cried a lot. She could not believe that her sister could be a victim of this disease. She had never cursed Mariam. She was her elder sister. How could she think anything wrong about her? Mariam stayed in the hospital for a week and then she lost the battle of her life. Mariam had left, leaving tears in everyone's eyes forever. Heba was looking at Mariam wrapped in a white shroud with empty eyes. When Shahir lifted Mariam's body on his shoulders, Heba raised her eyes and looked at Shahir. In a moment, Heba changed her look. Today, after 6 months, Heba saw Shahir. He was not the same Shahir as before. This Shahir was very tired and lonely. He seemed fed up with his life. She had lost Mariam. There was a state of mourning in both the houses. Hibab Majid had become silent. 6 months had passed since Mariam's death. Everyone had returned to their routine to a great extent, but the void she had left behind could never be filled. Samina Begum had once again come with Shahir's proposal. She had come without informing Shahir, but when Heba heard this, she flatly refused. You have treated me like a toy when you felt like it. You played with me, and when you felt like it, you picked me up and threw me. Heba had entered Shahir's room by opening his door with her body. Shahir had just taken a shower. He was surprised to see Heba in his room like this. What happened? Shahir asked foolishly. I will never marry you. There is no need to send Carla to my house from now on. I hate you. Shahir still did not understand anything. Heba saw surprise in his eyes. He was definitely unaware of it. I am getting married today. Please do come to my wedding. Heba cast a hateful gaze at Shahir and left the room with her body all glamorous. Shahir came to know that she had gone to Heba's house with a marriage proposal. Shahir was left holding his head. That stubborn girl was ruining her life because of her stubbornness. Shahir was not able to understand anything. Everyone in the house tried to convince Heba, but when Papo once again brought a marriage proposal for her, Heba rejected the proposal in front of everyone. Everyone agreed to Heba's decision. She knew everything about Ahad. Still, she was ruining her life knowingly. Heba, why are you doing all this? Shahir asked Heba helplessly while standing in front of her. Heba was busy cooking in the kitchen at that time. Shahir came to convince her once again, but Heba ignored Shahir's presence. Shahir was tired of Heba's attitude. Heba did not listen to anyone, and today she was sitting as a bride. In a short while, her marriage was to take place with Ahad in a simple manner. She was sitting as a bride in her room, but now she was standing in front of Shahir Khanzada in his room. Why did you bring me here? Heba asked Shahir with fire in her eyes. I cannot let you ruin your life. You know that today is not good for you. You cannot spend your life with a person like him. You could still make such a foolish decision. Shahir's tone was soft, but his attitude was very harsh. Then who is better for me? The person who claimed to love me and married my elder sister. The person who kidnapped his late wife's sister on the day of her marriage is better for me. A person like you who is a liar and a cheater whom I hate a lot. Heba pushed Shahir away from herself by putting her hand on his chest. Shahir was in agony, but this was not the time to prove himself right. Heba was feeling breathless. Tears were falling from her eyes. Shahir's head bowed down in shame at this moment. Shahir's room's door opened with a loud bang and all the family members entered Shahir's room. When all the family members were searching for Heba, Aad told Shahir that he was not able to speak. I had seen Heba's glimpse from Shahir's room's window. He was the one who brought everyone here. Everyone was surprised to see Heba in Shahir's room. Heba, we are looking for you everywhere. What are you doing here? Sadia Begum came forward and asked Heba strictly. Seeing everyone here, suddenly Heba got very frightened. I didn't like this girl's characteristics from the beginning. I agreed to this relationship only because of you. Now you have seen it with your own eyes. FFU, scolded Ardat angrily. Hearing FFU's words, Heba looked at Shahir with red eyes. Be careful while talking. I will not tolerate any nonsense about Heba. Shahir's words echoed in the whole room. Do you both realize your relationship? You are her sister's husband. Why? She was about to back out. Hearing his words, Heba became agitated. Shahid looked at FFU with red eyes. Gora Aad, let's go from here. I will never marry you to this girl. FFU held Ardat's hand and took her away. Shahir went to Suhail Sahab. Uncle, I want to marry Heba, Shahir said to Suhail Sahab with his head bowed down, while Heba was standing in a state of shock. Her tongue had become mute. Samina Begum came forward and put her hand on Shahir's shoulder. Papa, that day I was Shahir's only son for Heba. I had come with a proposal because both of them liked each other, but on your orders I broke my child's heart and separated him from his love. You should marry Heba to my Shahir. Maybe it was destined to happen like this, Samina Begum said in a tearful voice while Heba was stunned at this revelation. Heba looked at her mother. With complaining eyes, Sadia Begum involuntarily stole glances from Heba. She had become the killer of her own daughter's happiness knowingly or unknowingly. Now she did not want to make any more mistakes. She looked at Sohail Sahab. Okay, I am ready for this marriage. Sohail Sahab had acted with a foreboding. Shahir involuntarily breathed a sigh of relief while Heba was still standing with blank eyes staring at the floor. After some time Heba and Shahir got married. Heba had become Shahir's forever while signing the nikah. Nama Heba was in his name. She cried. A lot. It was as if her heart had broken. Shahir was silently watching her cry. Hiba's face was hidden behind the veil. Hiba's tears flowing behind the red veil were tearing Shahir's heart. After some time, Heba was sent away to Shahir's room. She was sitting silently. She was so nervous in this room. A while back she was so nervous, and now she was sitting quietly. Shahir came into the room. Heba raised her eyes and looked at Shahir. Shahir involuntarily took a deep breath. How much he was yearning to see this scene, only his heart knew. On seeing Shahir, Heba stood up from her place. What did you get by doing all this? You made a spectacle of me in front of everyone. Do you have any idea with what eyes you were looking at me? Heba burst out badly with anger. Lying there, Shahir looked at her helplessly. He was trying to understand Hiba's condition. Heba, first stop crying. Look what you have done to your eyes by crying, Shahir said softly, cupping Hiba's face in his palms and wiping her tears with the tips of his fingers. Don't come close to me. Stay away from me. Heba placed both her hands on Shahir's chest and tried to push him away from her, but Shahir didn't budge from his place. Earlier, I moved away when you pushed me because I had no right on you, but now, only I have a right on your existence. You may hate me, get angry with me, but don't push me away from yourself like this, Shahir said in a serious tone, pulling Heba closer to him. Why did you do this to me? Why did you make a joke of my love? Heba's crying became intense. Forgive me, Heba. I was helpless. I could not see my mother die in front of my eyes. She was lying on the hospital bed. How could I refuse to listen to her? She wanted to return the favor. Amma had brought your marriage proposal that day, but Carla had folded her hands in front of her and asked her to get Mariam and me married. Amma was helpless. Tears started falling from Shahir's eyes too. Heba had seen Shahir breaking down like this for the first time in her life. I am ashamed of you, Heba. I apologize to you. With folded hands, Shahir folded his hands in front of Heba. I have never been able to sleep peacefully since that day. I feel this intensely every moment that I hurt you. The reason for the tears in your eyes is my conscience. Every moment Shahir blames me. It seems as if he broke down and fell apart when our paths parted. Why did you come back into my life again? I was getting married today. I was going away from your life forever. Then why did you come back into my life? I never complained to you. I silently left your life. Then you have put me to this test. Heba Majid cried very hard. How could I let your life get ruined? Shahir said, holding Hiba's hand. Hiba's hands were getting cold. How will I look into my sister's eyes that after her death I have not seen her? I married her husband, Heba said, sobbing. Heba, I had never accepted Mariam from my heart. I could never give her the status of a wife. And then, a few days after the marriage, I came to know about her illness. But I tried my best to save her. But I don't know how Mariam came to know that we both love each other. Before dying, she took a promise from me that I will never leave you alone. She cried a lot that day. She cried because she had ruined her sister's happiness unknowingly. Have you ever thought about me? I have gone through so much pain and suffering for so long, Shahir had said to her with restraint. Heba had involuntarily stolen glances at him. If I am still a liar and a cheater in your eyes, then whatever punishment you give me, I will accept it if you want. So take my life with your own hands, but don't doubt my love, Shahir said, taking a deep breath, and stood a few steps away from Heba. Heba was in agony. Heba, I truly love you and I can't even think of cheating on you. But if you still think that I am a liar, then whatever punishment you give me, I accept it, Shahir said, bowing his head. Heba moved forward in agony and rested her head on Shahir's arm and cried a lot. Shahir closed his eyes in shock. He couldn't see this girl crying like this. This girl had saved his life, then how could he see her in pain? Shahir gently separated Heba from his shoulder and hid her in his chest. Today, their love was complete. The person whom Heba had started hating, the same person had started loving her with more intensity. He gently parted the heavy dupatta that rested on Heba's head from her body. He closed his eyes with complete peace. Today she was in the arms of the person for whom she had woken up and cried at night. Shahir was unable to hide Heba in his body and never let her go away from him. The night was slowly passing by. Heba had come under Shahir's strong shelter. Fate had made both of them cry a lot, and today, if they had become one, it was because of that fate. The next morning was definitely going to be very beautiful for both of them. Heba had once again believed in love. Shahir kissed Heba on her forehead. "I have always been only yours and you are mine. Now only death can separate us," Shahir had said in a tone full of emotion, while Heba Mojid hid his face in her chest. The moon also hid behind the clouds and the winds became calm for a while. If you liked our story, please like and subscribe to our channel and also turn on the bell notification so that you get all our upcoming interesting stories on time.